It is the beginning of April here in Phoenix, and with it being the start of spring, I have had some of my roses starting to open up and bloom. You can see a couple behind me. I have the red one is the Oklahoma, this purple one is Blue Girl, and that vine back there is my Lady Banks. So I did just want to do a quick video to go through some of the roses that are just starting to bloom. I do have several videos on my channel that I can link below that shows how I take care of my roses throughout the year in Phoenix, which is a very hot and dry climate in the desert. So if you do live somewhere similarly climated as I do, you can check those out and see how I got the roses to this point where they're at right now, looking very beautiful and blooming. But in this video, I'm going to show what's blooming now in my garden, so we will go and take a look. One of the first roses to bloom here is the Lady Banks. This one is the yellow Lady Banks. There's also a white one, but they have these really large cluster blooms, usually on new growth. This Lady Banks is quite large. I've had it for maybe 8 years or so. And next to it, one of the other first roses, true roses to bloom in the garden, is this Distant Drums. You can see the colors are very beautiful, soft. And over here I have another Distant Drums that also is one of the first to bloom. They bloom at about the same time, and you can see what this rose garden looks like right now. You can see the blooms are just popping up back here, just starting to open. The reds, I think, do open first in my garden, and then this hot cocoa just starting to open. I have a little bit of aphids. Just get rid of those. But otherwise, I have not sprayed. I've just been looking for aphids to smush. Looks pretty healthy. I haven't had to spray, and I also haven't not fertilized. I've just had the natural mulch that collects from the pods and leaves from one of my trees that shed, and this is how they look so far this year. And this one is very interesting. It's a very kind of bright red, and then on the back is like a silver white. This one is Love. Good shape. I believe this is a hybrid tea. It definitely is growing like one. Good cut flower. And down here you can see kind of the mulch, the natural mulch that I'm talking about. That's all that I've applied. I haven't done any fertilizer or bagged mulch. And just across the bridge you can see one of my favorite chairs to sit in the garden, and behind it is growing Don Juan, the red rose vine. So here we are close up on Don Juan. You can see it is doing very well here. This is one of, in my yard, I think one of the better thriving rose vines. I do find that some of them don't do as well, some of them do okay, but this one has done very well for me here in Phoenix. The red flowers are quite a traditional, beautiful red rose, and they're very large, as you can see. Okay, and then down this path we have more roses. Most are waiting to bloom, but we can check out some of the ones that are blooming. You can see Twilight Zone here, just has a couple buds starting to appear. And down over here, we've got a couple of yellow, very poppy yellow ones starting to open on Doris Day. I can show you better what these look like. I'll do a follow-up video when the rest of the roses are blooming, but I wanted to get this one out to show some of the ones that bloom earlier and just how the yard is doing here in the beginning of spring. And then here I have Oklahoma. Oklahoma again was one of the first to bloom. You can see some spent blooms already. I am 50-50 about deadheading, but I'll probably end up deadheading this one after all of its first round blooms are spent. But you can see this one's another very traditional red rose. This one has one of the best scents in my yard, very strong rose fragrance. The blooms are, again, these ones are very large. Another bloom, I think, showing the very elegant shape of these, this rose. And down here I have two miniature roses. They're Sunblaze roses. And I really like these little mini roses. They have tiny little clusters of roses, and I think they give a little fun change from the hybrid teas. So here's another just overview of how the garden looks right now. Very green. I'm very happy with it. I love how much green these roses can put on and hold, especially in Phoenix. If you live here, you probably know what I'm talking about. I think they just give a really nice garden look. I have a couple more ground cover type roses that are not blooming yet, but again, you can see what I'm talking about, it giving a nice green covering to the yard. Just make everything look like a true garden and like something one probably would not expect to have in the desert of Phoenix. Just starting to bloom here again. This one is, shoot, I'm blanking on my name of this beautiful, beautiful purple rose, Blue Girl. Some more aphids, just get rid of those. But you can see even for, having some bugs, the roses are turning out to look very beautiful. I love this rose. This one just has such a beautiful color and it has a beautiful smell, fragrance to it. It does fairly well in the heat here, and I have its own dedicated video if you would like to find out more about this rose and how it does here in Phoenix. I can link it below. And starting to bloom behind it is this ketchup and mustard. This one really does well here. You can really see all the buds popping off on it, getting ready back there. And this one is like Love, where it has like a bright red, but then an underside, a different color underside of yellow. So here in this view, you can again see the ketchup and mustard, Blue Girl, Oklahoma, distant drums in the back with the ladybangs. And back here, I like this little, it's kind of like a cove of roses where you can sit in the shade of some rose vines. You can see a bud on St. Swithin, though this rose vine back here is starting to open. And again, I will do a video update when this one is blooming and the others start to bloom as well, so you can see how those do and look. Okay, so that was just a quick stroll to see how the roses are doing and blooming here in my Phoenix Rose Garden. I hope that your roses are doing and blooming fabulously as well, and that if you don't have any roses and you're on the fence about getting some, that this can help inspire you to at least try one and see how it works for you.